Welcome to Violin Adventures number 197. We just have 2 more episodes before the grand 200th. So the deadline for your entries is this next week. The 18th is the deadline. Now to jump into our week of work, we're working on a beautiful violin from the 1700s. We also start a new violin. All right, we're ready to get to work on our very special 1700s violin. Here it is, a lovely old instrument. On the inside, we have some beautiful cleats up here that are done very well and perfectly. They've held. Everything is good about them. And they were done many, many years ago. And then we have down here kind of a mess. A whole bunch of cleats, they're in the wrong direction. And so I'm going to go ahead and take out all of these cleats which are incorrect and put in new cleats. Open crack. There's a few open cracks just because it's old and it needs some tender loving care. So that's what we're going to give this violin. Okay, I have my hot hide glue, right? We only use hot hide glue on these beautiful instruments. Now, what I'm going to do is close up the cracks that are open. I just pump it into the crack until it comes through on the other side. It looks like all around the rim of this violin, somebody used wood putty. It looks like they tore out a lot of wood grain as they opened it, and then they filled it with wood putty. While our 1700s violin is drying, it is time to make a new instrument. So let's go to the wood room and see if we can find a beautiful piece of wood that has wonderful tone, and we'll get started. The squeal in the background is the air conditioner. It's very hot outside, but right here is our maple backs. Now these are 2-piece backs, so we're going to have a look at something beautiful, and we're also going to make sure that the tone is ripe and ready to go. Now this is a piece of spruce, but it's got really close grain and it's hard to get good spruce anymore. So I may pull this out for the time. Well, let's go have a look at what we've pulled out and see which one is going to work for our next violin. Okay, here's the 4 pieces of wood that I picked out of the wood room that were interesting to me. So this is one from 2000. Here's an older piece, and there's no date on it, but this was probably bought in the 80s, and it has a gorgeous flame too. So we've got, these are 1-piece backs, and then here with these would be 2-piece backs. Can you guess which one I'm going to pick? Well, after I've chosen some beautiful pieces of wood, then I go through and test which one has the most beautiful tone. This one here has a good tone, but it's young enough that it could wait for a while. Maybe there'd be a special order violin, and so I'm saving this one for something special. This one is an older piece, and I'm thinking it's ready. The tone is ready to go. So I chose this 1-piece back. I love 1-piece backs. These are gorgeous pieces of wood with beautiful flame in them. They're ready to go, and I'm thinking maybe these we should save for a special order violin also. So here's 3 neck pieces. This one has got a beautiful flame, but it doesn't quite match the back, so we have to set that one aside. Then we have this one here, which matches it more this way. And we have one here that is also very good. So when I have 2 choices, I check for tone, and this is the one with the tone. So we're going to set this one aside. He can wait a little longer. This is a newer piece of wood anyway. Okay, it's time to cleat these cracks that we found. We're going to take this block and fit it right here to the neck. Okay, we're getting ready to glue in the upper block. And I'm very happy about this. This is the violin that had the neck all full of wood glue, and which didn't hold. That poor neck was a mess. So we got that all cleaned out. Now we're going to set it properly with hide glue. Let's do some rehairs. Okay, we're going to have a bow marathon. We have here a cello bow, a 3/4 bow, and then 3 violin bows. And these 3 need just a rehair. These 2 need more than that. So we're going to start with this bow here. You can see how dirty it is. We're going to polish that up and also clean the tip. Okay, they're all nice and shiny again. And now my hands are dirty. A quick summary of today's work. We've started on 3 of the 5 bows. Here the upper block is drying. Here are the 2 bows that have started their rehair. And here's the cleats getting put in. We have 11 clamps on that top, and it's going to sound so good. All right, the cleats are down. And I've got tone. This has got a nice tone. So the next step now is to take the bass bar out and give it a brand new bass bar. That'll give it a new voice. Well, we got a nice bass bar fit and ready to be glued in. Okay, the bass bar is in. We'll wait 24 hours. We've got the bass bar fit and shaped. We took out all the ugly cleats that were here and put in proper cleats. So we're ready to close up this violin. Well, the top is ready to go on. So here we have our repair label, restored by Cheryl Macomber, and we've got a new block up at the top where we can set the neck. We've got a new bass bar and repaired all the cracks that were open. It's got a good tone. Let's close it up. There's our beautiful violin all closed up. And next week we'll work on fitting the neck. Getting started on a brand new violin, we first have to cut the blocks for the wood. And here I have 4 beautifully cut pieces of pine. And these smell so good when you cut them. And not only that, but when your machines are working properly, I have one at 29 millimeters high, 30, 31, time for a story. Okay, it's time to read out of our book, Violins and Violinists by Franz Farga, and we're picking up on page 50. The title is The Mystery of the Guarneri. The third famous dynasty among the violin makers of Cremona was founded by Andrea Guarneri. He lived from 1626 to 1698. The days of his birth and death are unknown. What we do know is that he came from an aristocratic but completely impoverished family, and that he entered Nicola Amati's workshop at the age of 16. He remained with Amati for 11 years. Then he married and set up his own workshop not far from Amati's house. He lived in a similar fashion to that of Antonio Stradivari, inasmuch as he worked quietly and in seclusion for 40 years, toiling ceaselessly and searching for improvements on the Amati design. Unfortunately, very few violins and cellos from Andrea Guarneri's hands have survived. They are splendid instruments, distinguishable from those of Amati by the lower arching of their bellies and their wider sound holes. Guarneri, like Amati, also made cellos of various sizes, all of them excellent. One of these became especially famous. It belonged to the Dresden cellist Buchmann and created such a sensation by reason of its carrying power and strong, noble tone that English collectors offered its owners sums of up to 50,000 marks for it. But he refused to sell the instrument. One of the main characteristics of Guarneri's instruments is the yellow amber varnish with its inexplicable translucence. In this, Guarneri proved superior to his teacher. Excellent violins were also built by Andrea Guarneri's son, Giuseppe, who shifted the F-holes more towards the edges and used a thick reddish varnish. His brother, Pietro, was also renowned as a brilliant violin maker. 2 of his violins were shown at the Paris World Exhibition of 1878, where they were much admired by experts as instruments of excellent tone. Built with meticulous care and shining in their pale yellow varnish with just the ghost of a reddish glimmer. Another Pietro Guarneri, son of Giuseppe, settled in Venice and made a name for himself there. His varnish is somewhat darker and less transparent. Andrea's third son, Giovanni Battista, felt no inclination toward violin making, and he is said to have taken up a learned profession. It was Bartolomeo Giuseppe, second son of Giuseppe, who was destined to restore the name of Guarneri to the highest esteem. He is now known as Joseph Guarnerius and was given the appendage del Gesù because his labels bear the inscription IHS. He was doubtless one of the most brilliant representatives of the Cremonese school, and some connoisseurs place him alongside Stradivari. But he was a willful and bizarre character, hot-tempered and uncontrolled, a heavy drinker and a lady killer, yet in between a fanatical worker. There are several blank spots in his life, and he has been the subject of many legends. As a result of an error, his date of birth was wrongly recorded by the scrivener. The correct date, June 8, 1687, was established only after extensive search amongst family papers. Where he learned his art is unknown. For a long time it was thought that he was a pupil of Stradivarius, but this has been found to be untrue. There is no trace of Stradivarius' design in his first instruments. Right from the start, Giuseppe Guarneri del Gesù went his own way. He may have been apprenticed to his uncle Giuseppe for some time, but he showed enthusiasm for the violins made by Gasparo da Salo, whose designs he tried to improve at an early age. And we're going to stop there. So until next time, we'll take up again reading about the Guarneri family. The Hebrew Minute. Ki ani Hashem Elohecha mahatzik yeminecha haomer lecha al tira ani azarticha. Because I am the Lord your God, the one who strengthens or holds your right hand, saying to you, do not fear, I will help you. If you know where this is found, please leave it in the comments below. Freddie wants to chat.
Hi, I'm Freddie, and I got a big announcement for everybody because you just have this week to get your entries in, and then it will be too late. So get your entries in this week. And a big thanks to everyone for turning in your pictures and videos, and we're all excited for the 200th episode. But to hold you over, here I took a video. I snuck in the shop and I took a video of someone painting this little box. Here it is. See you next time. Bye.
Here it is, Friday already, a nice summer day. Let's go inside and see what's going on. In the shop here, let's look at the projects. Here's our finished set of drawers that has to find a home in here somewhere. And here's our lovely old violin. We've got it closed up with a new bass bar and all the cracks cleated. The neck is out and cleaned up, so we just have to fit the neck next week. Here is the making of a new violin with our blocks in and our top and back already chosen. And of the 5 bows, we chose 3 of them to get re-haired. These are all polished up and re-haired, looking nice and beautiful again. Thank you so much for watching and for all your great comments in the comment section. Thank you for your thumbs up, and until next time, bye!